So, dear Dharma friends, keep relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. Gently close your eyes and focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. While you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your breath, and relax your mind with your thoughts. And remember to mute your mic, please. And just follow the sound. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, we mainly practice tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation or insight meditation. So, when it comes to tranquility meditation, in the beginning, you need a primary mental object. Otherwise, your mind cannot just focus to nothing. So once you have the primary mental object, remember always keep focus to that. So we take our inhalation, exhalation as our primary mental object. So it called nimitta. Nimitta means the working place. So sometimes mind go here and there, but don't worry about it. Don't try to keep looking where the mind, what is happening like that way. Another thing is don't look for the result. It is nothing to do with the result. Only thing is the very result itself, when you able to see your inhalation, exhalation very clearly, and when you catch the sensation, that is the result. There is nothing else going to happen. Don't make it too complicated yourself. Don't bring unnecessary difficulties to yourself. Make it more simple. So you look for the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation, just keep focus to that. And when it comes to this inhalation, exhalation, in this physical body, there are a few ways this inhalation, exhalation happens. So normally according to our gender, the females mostly they inhale to the belly area. So that is naturally happening. So the male also, men also can do that. But when you allow that it natural process to happen, mostly the female body inhale to the belly. And that because that, as you know, that through the umbilical cord, the female body that already have the system to give birth to babies. So That's why the breathing, the mostly related with the belly area. And so for men's, it is mostly when it happen naturally, it's go to chest. So that's why you see the mostly men's the upper body more wider, and they work so hard, and they need the strength. So the strength mostly generate through the lungs and the heart. So because of that, they mostly naturally they are inhalation exhalation that related to the chest area. But when it come to awareness, you have to break down this too. Don't allow that to focus to that chest or your belly area. So wherever the inhalation exhalation happens, let it happen naturally, but yourself, you have to put the attention to the in front of your nose and your upper lip. That is where you sharpening your awareness. So that is our purpose. So if you want to so strengthen your gender as a female, if you want to more activate your female body, then you have to breathe to your belly. If as a male, if you want to do more strong work, physical work, then you have to breathe into your chest. But here, when you want to develop the awareness or the consciousness, or if you develop your mindfulness, don't try to do any kind of inhalation, exhalation. Just allow it to flow naturally, allow it to happen naturally, and bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Once it come to that, don't try to think that I inhale, and don't try to get into that, separate this subject and object, or I inhale this, I am doing this. Just observe, because when you try to think that I inhale, you cannot get into the natural process. The very beginning point, you start in a wrong way. Then maybe you experience something. Of course, when you inhale, exhale, even you do the inhalation, exhalation deeply, you feel some kind of result out of it. But our purpose is not just getting some physical result. We trying to go to the depth of this all. That's mean to develop the awareness and to get into the bottom of the truth. So that's why in the very beginning, let go the I. Why? Because the I happening out of our mental views. So because of this I, that is why I am in the samsara. So then if you bring that I as the subject or the main point or the center point to your meditation, how are you going to get out of this? Because of the I, we have this all the ignorance. So then if you keep this I as the main point, and if you practice something allowing that I to maintain it, how are you going to find the something beyond the I? Just, just see very simply. So then that's why in the beginning, remember, forget about I. It is nothing to do, I do or not. Just observe and see what is happening. And then you will see that naturally it's happening. So once it happens, start to follow. How? In the beginning, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. Separately recognize. And always in front of your nose and your upper lip area. It's like a security person, in a guard room, in a gate, and waiting and checking everybody and whoever going in and out and take the details. So the security person doesn't go behind anybody, or he doesn't try to pull somebody out or somebody in. What he does, he just take the information. So like that, you stay in front of your awareness, focus to in front of your nose and your upper lip area, and stay calm, steady, sharp, clear, and wait. So if the inhalation happens, how you recognize? Through the sensation, not by imagination, not by visualizing, not by dreaming or thinking about it. You just wait. If you feel the sensation, then you recognize this is inhalation or exhalation. So in case if you don't feel the sensation for a while, within 1 minute, 2 minutes, like that, in the beginning, the later sometimes you don't maybe feel inhalation, exhalation for a while. But in the beginning, if you don't feel, look your posture. See your back straight, neck, head straight, like that. Another thing is, be more clear with your awareness. Why? Because if you have busy mind, if your mind thinking something else, you cannot catch the breathing. So like that, just walk just a little bit, work with it and then recognize. So most important thing is, learn to wait without judging, thinking, like that, without interfering. Just wait. Once you recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation, and follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation, knowingly this is the beginning, middle, end. And while you following that way, you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, like that. Just observe. And when you keep observing that way, what is happening? Your breathing become more relaxed and comfortable, more soft. Sometimes it is very difficult to catch. That much it become very soft. So that's why you have to have the awareness. And then as a result of that, your body feel more comfortable, relaxed, and the breathing become more comfortable, relaxed, the mind become more sharp. And that is where physically you start to feel more comfort. So out of that comfort, you feel the joy. So you don't go that way. If you recognize that more comfortable, just keep focused to inhalation, exhalation. And sometimes your mind maybe start to disturb. Now body completely relaxed. So the mind start to play the game. Your mental formation, development, sanskara, start to vomit. Because this everything is sanskara. So that's why when the body neutralize the sanskara or the mental formation or the thoughts start to come. And maybe in the beginning, very reason memory play the role. And something can pop up, or whatever you done as work today or yesterday, or during this time period, whatever happening, that can come. Don't react. Just keep focused to inhalation, exhalation. And then sometimes very old memory can pop up. 10 years, 20 years back, whatever happened in your life, good or bad, that things can happen. Bring the memory. Don't react. And sometimes people think, oh, this is the result of the meditation. You getting some kind of wisdom. Why? Because very old memory, it is not, it is there. Only thing is that now your mind become more comfortable, and then what happened, like a volcanoes, that the all that whatever boiling deeper in your mind and start to come. And sometimes when you don't react to that also, sometimes very kind of like habitual patterns through the samsara, that the previous lives memory can pop up. But don't go with that. All the this kind of like a drama in our mind. So only thing is keep focus again and again, focus to inhalation, exhalation. Don't go with any thoughts. Now the mind also settle down. So in the beginning, body settle down. Now the mind also settle down. Now the body and mind settle down. The breathing become more sharp and clear. So what is happening? Heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness in your body start to synchronize with the nature. Why? Because the mind not trying to look for the desires is becoming more settling down. So, and as a result of that, you feel more joy. That is very necessary because without joy, without comfort, without satisfaction, you cannot gain to the tranquility state. So that the satisfaction and the joy, the comfort deeply without getting disturbed from anything is very necessary for you. So this is what happening. Even your mind not going to disturb to you anymore. So it completely, physically, mentally you settle down. So with that, now you have the joy and the satisfaction. And that with that joy and satisfaction sometimes more stronger, and it can break down your tranquility state also. People people get addicted to that. That's why just giving as information, just the practice point of view to show you, don't go with it, because our purpose is more deeper. Our purpose is not just to find the joy or the satisfaction. So don't go with this any feelings or the mentally that whatever you feel. Sometimes now, as I mentioned, your physical body synchronize with the heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. That what is happening with the joy and the pleasure, you don't feel anymore kind of like a body exists. And then the people get excited. You just completely come to a that kind of like get out of the this physical structure. So then the people get this excited, and then you come back. So that is where you have to be more sharp, and that is where you become disciplined. So you aware, you become disciplined. Now the joy and the pleasure arise. Without reacting to that, you become disciplined to stay with your mental object. That means the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. So that's become a profitable skill. So that mental satisfaction or the joy so stronger than this any physical perception or the satisfaction. So then once you deal with that way in your mind, within your own deeper satisfaction, without reacting to it, joy, without reacting to it, what is happening? Naturally, as a person, you're not going to be wander out of this physical material satisfaction. So it's going to be there. It is beautiful. It is nice. It is taste. That the smell is good, but that not going to make you disturb or greedy, or not going to make you desire. Why? Because you experience more deeper and stronger something, and you able to deal with it. See, that is how the your profitable skill develop when you practice meditation. So once you settle down within, and then the sometimes the body feel more relaxed, comfortable, mind feel more relaxed, comfortable, and it will help you to settle down deeply. So now your body, mind, and the breathing start to work as one. So that is where you get into the tranquility state. So once you get into the tranquility state, in that tranquility state, what is happening? You slowly releasing, naturally releasing the five aggregates. The first one, Kama Chanda. Kama Chanda means the desire with the self-centered mind to look for satisfaction with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. That means this you're looking for the satisfaction from this outside world. So, and there is a inner fire also, but it slowed down when you come to this level. And once the why, because now you feel more comfortable, relaxed anymore, you don't need anything from outside. That's why once you have that tranquility state, again and again you try to go into that meditation sometimes. So somehow once you have it, and then no resistance, no, you don't look for anything, you don't go towards something. It's not, you're not chasing or you're not reach to something. So that will get you out of the resistance. Then you become more centered and no resistance. Why? Because no desire. That will help you to get out of the anger, and it's slowly releasing. So just like giving just as information. Why? Because day by day we have new followers and the people asking that how this is happening, what is this, so like that way. So this is not a magic, this is a very natural process. So when you hear this process, you will understand how this is happening. You should know that, because otherwise that it is not a kind of like without knowingly you go on a journey. Now when you see, when you know this way, you know what is happening and where you go and how it is happening. So once you get out of the anger or the resistance, now your mind that not spending so much time for looking for satisfaction or no any sensual desires. That will help you to become more energized. Your head to toes, each and every cell start to activate itself. It don't look for something or it don't work for something. It start to be the itself. So that is where you become real you. Then your head to toes, whole body start to activate and you become more strong and clear, and you feel awake. No laziness, no sleepiness, no sloth and thought, no dullness. You feel more fresh and always active. You don't feel kind of like a lethargic. So this, see, this is what happening, and that is where you become healthy out of this meditation. So it is just the the process that you go through. Another thing is, you don't get out of the wonder mind with the self-centered mind. Wonder mind mean related to past or the future, and that thinking about yesterday or what going to happen tomorrow. So like that, you get out of that. Why? Because now you experiencing the moment, real moment, and then you become very clear with the path, no doubt about the practice. Why? Because you experience it. Then the mind become more sharp, clear and steady, and you trust the path and you become more confident. So that is where your tranquility state becomes strong. And then you, because you become your own practitioner, you become your own master. Now you know how it works, and then that will help. So another way, then another way open to you, that is absorption or the high mental powers. Now you become more aware. Once you come to the tranquility state, your awareness becomes sharper, clear, and that's become more powerful. And then what is happening because of that authority of your own awareness, and maybe you start to whatever deeply related to your mental formations, that it is still not disappeared. It's what happening, your mental formations go to sleeping mood when you are in the samadhi. It's not going to completely eradicate, uprooted. So that's why even you attain to the samadhi or the tranquility state, because of your mental formations, it can push you to have a kind of like a high mental powers. So as example, you feel kind of like you want to kind of like feel you are flying, Or maybe you want to do miracles, you want to test yourself. So like that, people like to do these things. So maybe you start to go that way. But in Buddha's teaching, it is not a path to go. Why? Because it's endless. And it's useless. You feel levitating, or you feel you maybe floating, or you going here and there mentally, and you start to appear mentally. What's the point? Because once you die, you're going to come back. It's not going to over this journey. It will help you to kind of like make a kind of like a massage your head and giving you good feelings. So that is where you turn to the vipassana. So getting to vipassana, you need this process to complete little by little, little by little, little by little. So once you come to the vipassana, what you have to observe in the vipassana. So as you know, in vipassana, that in the Satipatthana Sutta, there are four foundations. There are four meditation techniques. Kayanupassana, contemplating the body. Chittanupassana, contemplating the mind. Vedananupassana, contemplating the feelings. Dhammanupassana, contemplating the very nature, natural behavior of the body. So once it come to this all, there is a one similar thing. That is mean it all related to this body. So you start to observe through this any methods. What you recognize the five aggregates. What are those? Form. Form means, so whatever come to your eye as a picture or color, it's a form. So whatever sound come to your ear, that is a form, sound. The smell come as aroma, it is the form for the nose. Taste, whatever the taste come to your tongue, that is the form for the tongue. So the form is another way, the whatever the perception activate the the organ. So the eye never going to activate by the taste. So then that's why the pictures, the colors become the form for eye. So it's kind of like the form bring the formations, form bring the building block. So like that. So the body not going to activate because of the smell or the color. How the body activate, body formation because of the sensation. So that's why for the body, the form is the feelings, and the mind, thoughts or the ideas. So that is the first one. Once it come, what is happening? The very first thing, the feelings arise. So that is where your world start, with the form and the feelings. When there is no form, no feeling. Remember that. So once the form is there, once the feelings arise, sensation arise. Without the feeling, no sensation. Without the form, no sensation. And then when the sensation arise, and the formations come. Formations means your past history, memory related to that whatever. So we call the sanskara, phenomena. So without form, feeling, sensation, no sanskara. And then as a result of that, what is happening? Recognition happen. Recognition means awareness, consciousness. So those are the five aggregates. Your entire body, each and all the time, 24/7, depending on form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. Even though you get a name as whoever you are, that some people putting a name on these five aggregates. And whatever the form you build up, that form also build up on these five aggregates. That's why as the foundation, we see the five aggregates. So once you recognize this five, it is very important to recognize. How you can recognize? You have to watch. You have to observe. So if you cannot see the form, if you cannot see the feeling, if you cannot see the sensation, if you cannot see the formations, if you cannot see the recognition, you cannot go further. So in the very first level, you have to learn to see. That's why you have to have undisturbed mind. Because once you have the undisturbed, very tranquility mind, you can see. It is not something that you need any kind of special, that the knowledge. No, when you have the undisturbed mind, clarity, you're going to see. So without that, as example, you keep practicing, close your eyes and you thinking something else, then you cannot see. Because seeing here means you mentally become aware. So once you have that, in the very beginning, remember, so whatever sound come before the feelings, just recognize as a sound. Sensation arise before the feelings, recognize it as a sensation. So that is where you separate the form. You have to be very sharp. It's like a doctor doing a surgery. They see when the specialty, for the heart, lungs, liver, kidney, for eyes, teeth, ear, there are doctors. They are specialists for only for that part. No, he not going to, the eye doctor not going to open the heart and go, no. Why? Because he become more focused to that. So like that way, when you go deeper, you become more sharp, clear. And remember then, be very clear to see the form. And so whatever the sound, learn to, you can catch it. That's why when you close your eyes and even just listening to sound, you can start to hear it. You can separate the sounds even. When you start to hear little by little, that unheard sound you can hear. There are some sounds you cannot hear, but why? Because you have no attention. But if you start to put the attention, you're going to see. And there are some things that when you start to watch, you can see, like the sky. At night, when you start to see, in the beginning, very bright stars you're going to see. But if you keep watching, there are tiny, far away, little stars you can catch. Why? Because now you focus. So like that, when you focus, when you're able to see deeply inside you, when you become aware, you recognize the form and the feeling. You have to recognize the feeling. It is there. Without seeing the feeling, how you can go further? I will tell why you cannot go. Because sometimes people don't know five aggregates. So without knowing the five aggregates, you don't know about life. So first you know the five aggregates: form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition. And now you start to see this separately. And the feeling you start to recognize. So how you can recognize the feeling? So whatever the sensation or whatever the feelings arise, that's why you observe. And when the inhalation, exhalation happen, because this place is very sharp and more than any other place in your body. So as you know, your palm very rough, your foot very rough, and head sometimes, and the face muscles very soft. So like as example, if any ants or that go on your palm, you don't feel. But how about if it is start to go here and there, you start. So here is the very sharp place to catch the sensation. If you can catch here, you can catch any sensation in your body. So that is the one beauty that you practice. That's why in the beginning it's a little bit difficult. So from there, you recognize the sensation separately. So the feeling and the sensation. Sensation means the depth of the feeling, how strong it, because the sensation can happen very soft way and very strong way, very rough way. So recognizing that. And while it happening, what there is old memory come and interfere to that. You can see it. So as example, you go to a place and for a meal, and then somebody brings something. And maybe that is the very first time that you see that food. You never ate that. So then what you do? You take a bite. And then you start to say, oh, this tastes more familiar. See, that is you pulling mental formations. See, you start to think. Now the your tongue, the sensation activated, but you're not going to just take it that way. What you do, oh, this taste, it look like, oh, I remember this kind of something I ate somewhere. See, then you going to go with it. So like that, always with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, when we experience something, we always deal with the past experience. You can see it happening in you. Only thing is, you have to have undisturbed mind. That's why in the beginning you have to develop the tranquility state of mind. And then the recognition. The recognition itself with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind as feeling, that recognition come to good or bad or the neutral. So like that, if you take it as a good, what will happen? Then the greediness arise, the desire arise. If you take it as bad, then what happening? The anger arise. If you take it as a neutral, what is happening? Ignorance arise. So see, this is what happening to us. That is samsara. You have these all five aggregates all the time, but we take it as a good or bad or neutral. Vipassana means now you see this, you recognize this everything to the bottom and see what is happening there. When you see, you're going to see change. So far in the samsaric journey, we never watch. So that's why we don't see it. But if you see, you're going to see the change. That is what the Buddha found out. The change of the five aggregates. But before the Buddha, people didn't observe the five aggregates. They used the five aggregates to observe other things. That is the difference with the Buddha's thing. So Buddha observed the five aggregates rather than using the five aggregates and observing the outside. So once you observe the five aggregates, form, feeling, sensation, formation and recognition, you see the change. There's nothing, you see the change. It's not somebody teach you. It is not you get the idea from somebody, or it is not because of the dogma or the any tradition, or it's nothing. That is the reality. So once you see the change, that you see because of the change, the whatever you feel as good, then it also change. And whatever you feel as bad, that also change. And whatever you feel as neutral, that also change. Unsatisfactory nature, that is where you recognize it. Remember, when you see the change, because of the change, not because somebody else, because of the change and the unsatisfactory nature arise. So then why change happening? Because of the cause and effect. Everything happening according to necessary conditions in that moment. That is where you get out of the self. Once you recognize that, why these formations change, you recognize, oh, it's not because of somebody's wish, it's not because of someone's the idea, it's not because of somebody the doing this way, because things happening according to necessary conditions in that moment. So when the conditions change, the the experience change. So that is where you get out of the self-centered mind. So then you see the change, and because of that change, now you recognize why the change happening. So that is where you become wiser. And why the change happened? Because things happening according to necessary conditions. And then as a result of that change, unsatisfactory nature arise. No one to blame, no one to fight, no one to argue, because that now you see the reason. Another thing is within this all, there is no self, because according to conditions, things change. And then you come to a point. What is the now? You come to point to understand, that is where you get out of the self. So once it come to that, you attain to the liberation. Once you come to that, you obtain to the liberation with the wisdom, knowingly the cause and effect. After that, what will happen? When you're going to do something, when you live with something, you going to act according to necessary conditions in that moment. That is how the enlightened masters live. Why? Because you saw in the depth how the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness arise in form, feeling, sensation, formation, recognition, because of the necessary conditions. That's mean your life. So then you recognize this life happening not because of this or that or my wish or somebody else wish, or not because of our desires. It happened according to necessary conditions in that moment. So then you surrender to the necessary conditions in that moment. That is the Dhamma. So that is the path from beginning to end. It is, there are some other ways. I just giving you the direction how this see from beginning to end. There is nothing hide. There is nothing kind of like a miracle, and there is nothing to be complicated. So this is the process that we go through. Only thing is through practice, by your experience yourself, you have to see this within your own mind. So path is there, still available. That's why we deliver it this way, and it's going to disappear one day. So before it disappear, you heard it. Now you heard it, now you know how it is happening. So it is up to you. Whenever you have time, give a try. In case, and I have to remind this again and again, enjoy your life. Do whatever you do. Be happy. Go anywhere you want to go, and whatever the desire you have, go with it. Because you're not going to change because of this. The monk tells, or the book tells, or the Dhamma tells. You will do whatever you want. But in this journey, one day, in case, if you come to a point, I am done. This is enough for me. I need something better than this. Then that is the day you need this. Otherwise, maybe it is just a practice. But that is the day you're going to get this. So keep it for that moment. We all going to have that moment. It doesn't matter who we are, where we are, you know, we all going to have that moment in our samsaric journey. Maybe not today, but someday we're going to get it. So It is a kind of like a treasure for you, for your sansaric journey. Keep it when the day comes for you, when you decide, I am done. I need something better than this. This is the only way. There is no any other way. That's why Buddha mentioned, Ekayano ayang maggo satipatthana. There is no any other way to get out of this whole mess. But it is very important to understand this is a mess. So sometimes we have to go through it, and that will show you the path end of this all. So let's practice a little bit. And this is the summary of our practice. Okay? So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line.